It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, three-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Folks, he's just sitting here and dancing around on Bobby Hurley's grave right now.
Wow.
Dale Hellestrand, everybody.
I walk in, Steve has this huge smile on his face. Said, what, are you relishing in the anguish of somebody else? And he said, of course.
Let me do some production stuff here.
Oh.
Yeah, since I'm wearing a black shirt today, let's fix that. I'm blending. I was like, my head was just floating there.
Well, my red goes into the red of my background.
But you had a different shade of red. Oh, you want to take down?
No.
You want us to take down your bricks back there?
No,
brick by brick during the show.
Just a little bit of me is fine.
You blend fine. My black was the same color as the black there. Yeah, Bobby Hurley happened quick.
Yes.
And that blowout, they lost yesterday 91-42. I was giving updates during the end of the show, Dale, because you took off to play golf, and it was like, oh, they finally scored 2 points, like 5 minutes into the game. They got to 10 with like 6 minutes to go in the first half, and it was like, yee. If
it's going to go down horribly.
Is that the theory?
Yeah, I mean,
don't go down fighting.
Don't go down double overtime, buzzer beater.
And finally, though, Dale, the thing that I'm excited about, and look, it's been 11 years of, I'll say semi-success here. Not obviously the level that we hoped he would get it to and stuff, but we made it to at least Dayton a couple times in the NCAA tournament, and we saw some good players roll through here. But the thing I'm excited about is finally the stupid dance we have to play when we all knew he wasn't coming back. But we had to pretend that it was possible, and we had to pretend that nobody knows he's gone. Thank God that's over. I hate that dance that we do with these type of things.
Now, are you prepared to be disappointed with his successor?
No, and here's my point. I was at the point this year, and probably last year as well, where I was like, just hire a high school coach here in town to come in and coach this team for a couple years. Anybody but Bobby Hurley.
Wow.
Please.
Wow.
Please. So whoever they hire, I will not be disappointed in. Well, they'll talk about it, and I'll probably say, oh, you could have gotten this guy or whatever. But no, it was time. I feel this way about Torey Lovello. I felt this way about Harbaugh in Baltimore. I felt that way about the Steelers head coach. I don't want to see year 10s with coaches, Dale. I don't want to see year 10s unless you're multiple championships in. Otherwise, no.
I tend to agree with you.
No.
Coach's voice can become stale.
Not just with players, but the fans. Every time Torey speaks, I know exactly what he's going to say now. Oh, it's the wind was at his back.
Boy, and if you say one thing wrong, look out, Steve.
Oh, our guys just, we're just better at this defensively, and we will get better at it. Coach, it's August. You're not going to get better at it. It just, so I was ready to move on. Regardless of what happened, I was just ready to move on. And look at that. Think about that, though, for a second. John Harbaugh's gone in Baltimore.
Yep.
Steelers moved on from him, and I'm forgetting his name right now. But he moved on. Bobby Hurley, 11th year, moving on. And I'm sure there's some other guys I know, like the St. Mary's coach, who actually I want ASU to hire. He's been there since like 2001.
Bennett?
No, Bennett's San Diego, isn't he? Am I confusing them all? I might be confused. I want either the San Diego head coach or I want the St. Mary's head coach because they've done more with less. The St. Mary's head coach is actually from the Valley.
Right.
I think his family's still
I think that was Bennett. Randy Bennett.
I get them all confused here on who they are right now because I haven't delved into it. Let me check here because I don't think that's correct. I think Bennett's in San Diego.
Okay.
Let me just double check this here. St. Mary's men's basketball head coach. But I want him here Because if you can win at St. Mary's, got to a Sweet 16 with St. Mary's. Yes, please. You're right. You're right, Randy Bennett. Look at you go. Look at you go.
Valley guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love it. Get him over here, man. Whatever it takes. Rolling into the new stadium and stuff to that, the renovations that are going to be done, 2029 or whatever, things to that effect. But that's what I'd like to see here. Somebody like that. Even the San Diego coach, which now, of course, I don't remember his name. But I'd like to see one of those guys here. I want somebody with a temperament for basketball. I mean, get mad. Coaches need to get mad at time to time, Dale. Coaches need to yell at referees occasionally.
Yeah.
But I need somebody. I'll say it this way. Randy Bennett there with St. Mary's. He's been there since 2001. And he's built them into a perennial NCAA contender. You cannot tell me that their facilities right now are better than Arizona State. Now, they recruited at a different level, right, at the same time. But he has taken a team, St. Mary's, and his voice hasn't gone sour with St. Mary's. Unlike Bobby Hurley.
Yeah.
And he wins consistently. I want to see consistent winning here is what I want to see. And what I mean by that is do great in your non-conference like Bobby Hurley did, and then come in here and beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's what did Bobby Hurley in. Not the fact that he couldn't compete with Arizona and Houston and I'm forgetting the other guys right now. Kansas. Even though he could compete with Kansas for some reason. But, he couldn't compete with the top guys. But you need to beat the UCFs, the West Virginias, year in and year out in conference play. That's what I want to see. And he does that at St. Mary's. If you do that at St. Mary's, Dale, you can do that here.
Well, it's got to be interesting because you got to think after 25 years, does he want to change? Does he want to come back to the Valley?
That's going to be the question. Why hasn't he left there before? Does he want to leave there?
I think he's had some opportunities.
Yes. So that's the question. So I'm not going to get my hopes up because he could just simply be like, no, I'm perfectly fine being here. I love being here. Yeah. So what's the other one? San Diego. Who's that guy's name? He's a big name too.
San Diego State, you mean?
Yeah, San Diego. Oh yeah, San Diego State. I consider them the same.
Two different campuses.
The good basketball team.
Yeah.
One's on the hill and one's not. One's on the mountain and one's not.
Yeah, one's on as you're driving into San Diego on I-8.
Let me see what his. Like I said, I wasn't. I have the names. I know who I want. I just don't have their names all broken down and stuff like that. Brian Dutchner. Dutchner. I'll say this. I want somebody, Kenny Dillingham, Molly Miller mold.
Young, energetic.
Success wherever they've been for the most part in a lesser environment, but then also in terms of Kenny Dillingham, somebody who's from here and understands what it means to be a Sun Devil.
Right.
That's what I want. Period. End of story. That doesn't mean I want Glazier or whatever his name is, Glasser, who hasn't head coached anywhere. He's a big name right now in there.
Right.
No. You got to have experience of success at the lower level, which Bobby Hurley had coming over. Bobby Hurley, I would consider Bobby Hurley's tenure here better than average for an ASU head coach.
Well, I mean, you think the success he had in Buffalo, obviously the name he had in college basketball.
Yes.
That for ASU that you would have thought that was a home run hire.
Yes.
I think everybody's pretty dang excited.
Should have been. And he did enough. It's just the consistency is what did him in. And he wasn't at Buffalo long enough to show a long level of consistency. Well, the San Diego head coach, St. Mary's head coach, they have. You want somebody with that track record there to come in with lesser stuff. Because not only does he win at St. Mary's, Dale, he gets to the NCAA tournament and wins with St. Mary's. That tells you he can come in here with lesser facilities as they're upgrading it and do what Bobby Hurley couldn't do, and that is beat the bad teams in the Big 12 and finish not fourth from the bottom in the Big 12 and finish 8th, 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th in the Big 12.
Right.
That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for win the Big 12 against Arizona. Win the Don't go to UCF and lose that UCF game when you're up by 12 with 5 minutes to go and they're in foul trouble. And every foul, you go to the line and you somehow lose that game. Don't do that stuff. And you'll be all right.
Hey?
That's what I want, Dale. So I should say, can I be disappointed in who they hire? Yes, because of the options out there. But like I said, for me, it was just time to move on. At this point, I don't really care who you get. It was time to move on.
Do you think this will be a long, drawn-out process? Do you think anybody would like this job that's
Yes.
worthy?
Yes. The only question I got is ASU will lose out. So like if Bennett wants to leave St. Mary's, that's the question mark with him. Does he want to leave there?
Right.
But if he wants to leave, is he going to have a better offer, a better school to go to? You know what I'm saying?
And right now, would you think San Diego State is looked at as beneath ASU?
Only because of the conference they play in.
Okay.
Only because of that. It would be a step up for a head coach to move into ASU, into the Big 12.
You would think
Would be a
moving into the
step
Big
up.
12.
But in terms of the programs, you might want to stay at San Diego. That's the part of it. You might want to stay there. But every coach wants that challenge of stepping up.
Right.
But that's where I think also getting somebody that's from here, grew up here type of a situation. His dad was Bennett's dad was a coach, I believe, at MCC for
Yes.
1,000 years. And so I think you'd be shocked, especially as you get older, the lure that is for some people. Come back home. It was for Kenny Dillingham.
Yes.
It was for Todd Graham to get back here, at least for a little bit. So I don't know. It'll be fun, but I don't know. I might be disappointed. Like if they do sign Glasser as head coach with no experience, I will probably lose my mind. But at the same time, Dale, I have to remind myself it was time. You didn't get the guy you wanted, but you got a different voice in here. Let's see how it goes.
How happy you were on March 12th, the day they say goodbye to Bobby Hurley, and
I'm not happy. Life would have been easier if Bobby Hurley could have figured it out.
and your good buddy Dale Hellestray's wedding anniversary. I'm looking for a gift.
I have to get you a gift for your wedding anniversary?
A card or
I have to get you a gift for your wedding anniversary?
well, it wouldn't be frowned upon.
Is that a thing? Maybe I'll just be like all your other friends out there that just post on Facebook. Maybe I'll post something on Facebook later. Wait, you get people because you've been married for 38 years, I'm supposed to get you a gift?
Yes. Congratulate us.
I did congratulate you on air.
Don't you get people birthday gifts?
No, I do. Well, I give them cash.
Yeah. That's all I wanted.
Oh, well, you want some cash? I got some. You want me to just help pay for your dinner tonight
Yeah, that would be nice.
at the fancy restaurant?
As the when the bill comes and say, sir, it's been taken care
It's
of.
been taken care of. Well, it's funny because I called the restaurant and they went, sir, the last 3 times you've been in here, your card's declined. We're not taking this. I'm like, oh, well, because you guys are too expensive. And the Hellestrays are going to be expensive tonight.
Yeah, we're not going to Texas Roadhouse.
What? Why do you knock Texas Roadhouse all the time? We'll get more on that later on. How'd you golf yesterday?
I golfed very mediocre, but I was on a good team. So if you're on a good team, you tend to win some money.
Still make the money on the backside.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how was the weather? Let's play bets now, folks. Hit me up. At SMAC500 on Twitter or TME Sports Show. Let's do a little side bet here for all of us. Does Dale play golf at all next week?
It's only 100 degrees.
All right.
My body tends to feel better in the heat.
Even at 100 degrees, though, the problem isn't the 100 degrees. It's just every year those first 100-degree days just wipe you out, man, because you're not used to it yet.
You're
That's
not
the
used to it, but I think I'm smart enough to realize that it's only be around for a few days and it'll cool down again. Everybody freaks out.
It'll be the
Oh
earliest.
my gosh.
It'll be the earliest since something like 1986 or 1987 that we've ever hit 100. And it'll be the earliest ever we've hit 100 degrees when we hit it next.
It's been a little warm this. If you can call it a winter, I think we had 2 days of winter.
I told you already, didn't I? I think I've announced this that I will be doing the show. Ethan graduates in early May, and I will be doing the show from some corner shack in Alaska for the summer. So everybody knows. Technology allows me to do that, Dale. You will not find me anywhere near this hellscape we call Phoenix this summer.
Just get that air conditioner cranking, Steve.
It's crazy. Well, we kind of insulated the studio room. We have like an enclosed studio room now, partly for that reason, to just keep it kind of cool in here at all times, as opposed to, the rest of the place is frozen. Ethan the other day was like, I'm freezing back here. And I'm like, oh, it's nice in the studio.
Well, you got 2 big guys in this room.
Well, the lights are the bigger issue. Man, this place lights up. I'm pretty sure we're lighting up the moon right now. People on the moon can see us. The wall, the China Wall, whatever that's called. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall, whatever it's called. That thing can be seen from space, and then all the lighting from us can be seen from space right now. That's how bright it is in here. Hey, the U.S. advances yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that with you before you take off. Italy made it a non-nail biter game, thank goodness. But U.S. advances. They played Canada. We'll talk more about that. Of course, we got Luke coming up at 9:00 as well. But that went on. I sat down and to watch that game blowout. Then it was like 7-0 at one point. I'm like, good. We're good.
Pasquantino to the rescue.
Here's my question. I think I've come to the conclusion that this U.S. team talks a good game, but they don't care. They don't care about the World Baseball Classic. I think I've come to that conclusion. And they didn't even play yesterday, Dale, and I came to that because I went back and I looked at the coach's comments, which, of course, he walked back. Oh, we misread the rules and the stats.
Right.
But then the worst part of it is the team went out. He fully admits the team went out and celebrated a little too much after the win against Mexico because they thought they clinched. So they were all hungover, Dale, for that Italy game.
That is more than a little bit embarrassing, not knowing what the rules are.
Yes.
To move on.
Well, so it's double fold here, in my opinion. You know who does that? You know who doesn't know the rules of it and you just assume you're going to move on? And then do you know who celebrates, goes out when you have a game the next day and you go out and party a little too much, not caring about the next game? You know who does that? People who don't care about something.
Or Michael Jordan.
But he always showed up and played.
Yes, he did.
That's the difference.
Yes, he did.
If the U.S. team would have showed up and beat Italy 300-0, it would completely then, hey, go do it all you want.
Yeah.
But that just tells me, I went back, I watched all this stuff yesterday leading up to that game. And just, because I saw the individual clips, I watched all the stuff about it. I watched the talk about the party. And I just got done with it, and I went, they don't care about the World Baseball Classic. Like, to them, this is like a vacation. Just like, oh, whatever happens. We're just going to win. Who cares? Whatever. They don't care about it. And they talk a big game that they care about it.
As I think about it, how long did the manager know he's going to be managing this team? 6 months? Was it a year in
I think it's longer than
advance?
that.
Whatever.
I remember when they announced him because he was an MLB TV host guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously, X-Men.
Anyway, it wasn't the day before the tournament started.
No. Yeah.
So you would think at some point you're going to go sit down and go, okay, so how do we get out of the pool play and what are the rules? And
even the manager, 'cause he's doing a lot of stuff, so maybe he's not into that. Like, hey, but there's somebody around the team that does this, right? The
director of USA Baseball.
USA Baseball director goes, hey, guys.
You haven't done anything yet.
You got to still win another game here. You can get knocked out still. But I just came to the conclusion. This is what's disappointing because coming from hockey, now maybe this isn't fair to the baseball players, but coming from the hockey side where everything was winning that gold medal, everything to this U.S. hockey team is winning the Four Nations tournament. Like more so than the NHL regular season. They will sacrifice the NHL regular season, Dale, to win those tournaments. That's how much it means to these guys to put on the USA. And I'm just, maybe I'm being harsh, but I just come to the conclusion. The U.S. team's like, whatever.
Well, a couple things jump out to me. Obviously, number one, you're talking about two different types of athletes. Hockey players are going to
Yes.
be more into the games than baseball players just because of who they are.
Well, okay, I'm going to give you the reason why you're wrong on that, but go ahead.
And secondly, do you think it's the time of the year that the Winter Olympics came along, that they couldn't do the World Baseball Classic? I heard somebody, I don't know if it was you, say, why not just extend the All-Star break?
Well, they needed. I know Holmberg brought that up on your sports podcast the other day, but extend the All-Star break a week and a half. Give teams 2 weeks off, play the World Baseball Classic that time frame.
Right.
Every team gets to rest. You come back, you get healthier players. Your playoff push would be more competitive, wouldn't it?
And everybody's in the middle of the season, so they've played baseball.
They're warmed up. Yeah. They're stretched out. You don't have to worry about that stuff. That's why, to me, and then your playoff push would be so much better.
You would think.
Because it's going to give people 2 weeks extra to get healthy. That's why I think that's when you should do it. But I agree, it's not like hockey, yes.
Okay.
But give me more reasons, because I'm going to blow your theory right out of the water here in a second.
Well, I want to hear this.
Are you watching the Dominican team? I know you brought up they're taking heat because of the celebrations and stuff like that. They're living and dying. Ketel Marte hit a home run, I think to the moon yesterday. And the way they celebrated that was like Ketel Marte had never played before. And he's just
got called up
out
from
there,
single A,
and he just hits a home run like Kirk Gibson did in the World Series. They celebrated it like it was a Kirk Gibson home run in the World Series.
Okay.
The Italian team, the Czechia team, who won nothing in this tournament, celebrates more than the U.S. team does. They have an electrician who had to take PTO to pitch in this thing. Dominates Japan for 4 2/3 of an inning, Dale. And then he gets bowed to by his manager. And the Japan crowd gave him a standing ovation when he left. They appreciated his efforts so much. Honduras, Drew Jones is playing for the Netherlands, folks. Drew Jones, who's in single A California for the Diamondbacks, is playing for the Netherlands. And he's playing like it matters to him out there in center. He's making plays left and right and looking like he should probably be on this D-back squad to start the season out there for the Netherlands. Italy stepped it up. And Italy's full of major leaguers. Every team is into this, and then the Americans are like, we partied a little too hard last night because we thought we clinched. That's where you're wrong. It's not baseball players because they're different than hockey. It's this unique American team that doesn't care about the World Baseball Classic. All the other nations care. I watched Israel, who won nothing in this tournament, have more passion to this thing than the U.S. team has. Anyway, blow your theory out of their water there. It's not baseball players that don't want to do this. It's this American team that doesn't care.
I still think there's something to say about hockey players really versus
there's a difference. There's a difference. Because even the Dominican team who's unworldly here, folks, with the way they celebrate and stuff. Like, Dale, I'm even to the point where I'm like, all right, you guys, settle down. Settle down a little bit. The way they celebrated that Ketel Marte shot yesterday.
Yeah.
Even I was like, all right.
He wasn't doing cartwheels down the base path or anything.
No, but did you see him with the bat and everything afterwards? He launched that thing and his bat's all like this, and then he stops and he's watching it. And everybody's losing their mind. It was so great. That's like then Ketel Marte will come here for the Diamondbacks and he'll be like, I ain't feeling too well today. I had to play in the World Baseball Classic. I need a month off.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
But that's the thing. If you watch these other games, Japan, for instance, they're into this thing, man.
Oh yeah.
And this the thing that triggered it in my mind was the comments about how they didn't know the format. Somebody yesterday said, put out on Twitter, and they said somebody informed DeRosa, who's the manager of the U.S. team, somebody informed him that it's single elimination moving forward, so he knows.
He might well want to revisit the rules, make sure.
It's just disappointing from that. Like I said, maybe we're biased because of the hockey side of stuff, but I'm just telling you.
Well, I think
It's not baseball players. It's this American team.
I think part of it really is that they're so close together. And we just saw the Olympics, and we saw the way that USA ended up winning it and all that.
Yeah. I agree with you, but you can't deny the U.S. team is not into this tournament like the other teams.
No, there's no doubt about it.
So even if you didn't have the hockey, would it be as noticeable? Probably. If the manager didn't make those comments and we didn't find out the team went out clubbing the night before the Italy game and was blowing it off, if we didn't know that, it wouldn't be as noticeable as it is when you go back knowing those comments now and look at it. It wouldn't have been as noticeable just watching it. But now that all that's happened, I'm just telling you guys. I watched games yesterday, Dale, that didn't matter.
Right.
And it was like, this is exciting. And even the Mexico U.S. game was like, Judge hits the home run off the side there, and it's just like, oh, I'm going to jug the bases.
Win with class, Steve. Win with class.
Whatever. Want to be there or don't be? Just stop it. Have some pride, man. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you could say, hey, it's too early in the season. I don't want to play, and
yeah,
I can't give you my
all. You have
all.
every excuse in the book to not put on that uniform for the WBC team. Kershaw, who's retired now and can't throw a baseball that doesn't get launched out of the ballparks, wanted to play for this team so badly.
Right.
And all these other guys are just like, whatever. Now, Bobby Witt Jr., that kid's a stud. At shortstop. Sorry, Perdomo. You're at least number 2 in shortstop in the league. There's a better one out there than you. Dale, before you take off, I just hate talking bad about the American team like that. But it's disappointing.
Yeah,
Dale.
but
it's disappointing.
You have to talk about what you see.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not hating. I'm not looking at it from a hateful side. I'm looking at it from a disappointment side of maybe it'll change now that they're out of the round robin. Maybe they just showed up and they went, we're better than all these teams. We're just gonna advance and then we'll worry about it.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if they flip a switch.
Yeah. They play tomorrow, 5 p.m. our time against Canada. Quarterfinals get underway. So that'll be interesting to see. Do they step it up a little bit in terms of the excitement levels and celebrate a little bit more type of deal and act like this is a big deal to them? They talked a big game going into it, how amazing it was put on the U.S. uniform. Their actions are showing the opposite,
right?
In my opinion, out there. Really quick, the Players' Championship, the 5th majors happening right now. Max Homa holed in a shot earlier about, 20 minutes ago, or now 40 minutes ago or so for him. But Morikawa, say that 10 times fast.
Colin Morikawa.
I tried to say his last name only, and that was my problem.
Yeah.
Withdrew from this tournament with his back injury here. How excited are you for this? Windy this morning there at TPC Sawgrass.
A lot of water on that course, Steve.
Yeah, and
a lot of water on that course.
Yeah.
Wind could wreak havoc. I really enjoy watching this because I like the course. They got the 17th hole there. It's kind of like the 16th here at Phoenix, and people will just.
It's the closest replication, I think, to the WM Open.
People hoping that fans hoping they hit in the water, and
yes.
It's so silly because it's about a 130-yard hole, might play 140 yards,
yeah,
and the wind wreaks havoc on them, water all around.
Yeah.
I understand you and I being scared to hit that shot. But you think those guys are they're hitting a little pitching wedge.
Yeah, they're like, nothing. It's like a half swing on a pitching
Yeah.
wedge. They'll just lob it up there and it hits and sticks kind of a deal. Yeah, it's fascinating to see, but that's underway this morning. We'll get everybody updated on that tomorrow, of course, for the weekend. But they call this the fifth major. I actually consider the Canadian Open. I think that should be the fifth major. I really like the Canadian Open and the format and the golf course up there. But this is definitely, I'm not going to squabble if you call the Canadian Open the the major or this one.
Right.
But this is a great tournament this weekend. It's fun to watch. If you only watch majors, you should tune in this weekend because these guys are going to put on a show. Do you have the leaderboard up right now?
I do. The purse for this tournament, by the way, is $25 million, so it's even more than it is for a signature event.
Yeah.
Right now, two tied at the top: Tommy Fleetwood and Maverick McNeely.
Fleetwood's
At
up
minus
there, huh?
minus 4.
They're through what, 7 or 8 by now?
They are making the turn.
Oh, so they're through 9.
Yeah, and even the first ones out are through 14-ish. So they're making some progress, and the second wave will go off here in just a little bit.
Scheffler is out there. I know that.
Yeah. He's got to get off the schneid on these opening rounds.
Yeah, he's strong. He has to make a comeback on Saturday.
Yes. He has to make a comeback on Friday to make the cut.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right now, he's tied for 9th at -1 with a bunch of other guys.
I think he's with Koepka, right? Last I saw, I looked at it like an hour ago.
Okay.
But isn't he? He was with Koepka before, and Justin Thomas was around that range as well. As of now, the interesting thing about this, when I looked at it about 45 minutes ago, here I'm pulling it up real quick, is you have guys -4 the leaders, -3, of course, -2, -1s. A lot of guys there. A few evens here in this. A lot of plus numbers today.
Yep.
To the point where a lot of guys are playing +5 right now, +4, +5 here in this tournament. Like I said, the wind's going to be a hassle for these guys.
Yes, it is.
At least today, going into this.
And
morning
usually
round.
it picks up more in the afternoons than it is in the morning. So
If you're starting your Thursday off on +5, do you just withdraw with a back injury, or do you?
That's
go out
when
there
you
on
fall to
Friday?
the ground, like Colin did.
So that's happening right now. We'll keep you updated on that with Dale tomorrow as well. And all that, Dale, your Phoenix Suns tonight. Expectations, just really quick before you go.
I just want to see them play hard again. I love the way they
Pacers.
played the other night, and I'd love to see that same effort duplicated. I'm not even really concerned about whether they win or not. I want to see that effort.
Really, I am, because it's the Pacers. And
Well, if they play like that
the
against
Pacers
the Pacers,
are like last place in the East.
they will win the game.
Yeah. It just keep working the Pacers. I think the Pacers are in last. They have like 15 wins. It's between them and the Wizards. So you should win this game, even if you don't play well. You should win this game tonight.
Well,
Don't be like the Bulls.
The Timberwolves have lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, they're struggling, man.
Yeah.
That's what the Timberwolves do, though, man. They go up and down, up and down, up and down. Wusses. But yeah, okay. So they should beat the Pacers tonight, 4 p.m. for that.
Yeah,
Dale's going to get
early.
out of here and go do the hit over there at the Morning Sickness.
At Steve's new best friend,
Yeah,
Johnny Holmberg.
yeah,
Thanks for introducing me to Steve.
yeah. Make sure he talks about me enough that my phone blows up again, would you? Tell
Why
him,
are you listening to that show?
I wasn't.
No, I'm saying
other
you
people?
say
I
that
know,
in your
yeah, I know.
mind.
So last week I didn't say it, but last week John was talking and brought me up, and my phone just like exploded with people texting out, John's mentioning you on your show, and I'm like, I'm doing a show right now, guys.
I'm doing that show
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
doing it right now. You can listen to me. It's pretty funny. These are like sales guys, so they're in their cars all day long and stuff like that. you know.
Okay.
That's what I tell myself.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself. Get over there, go deal with that. I got Luke coming up at 9.
The question will be, which station is Dear Sweet Autumn going to be tuned into?
That's not her type of show. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Holmberg's not her type of show.
No?
It's an acquired interest.
She doesn't like to laugh.
The other morning, I was driving in with Ethan.
Yeah.
I think it was Monday, maybe Tuesday, and it's just normal conversation on there. This is 5:45 in the morning,
Right.
and then he starts going to like how he had conversation about anal sex with somebody or whatever. And I'm like, bloop, KTAR.
News radio.
Let's check on the traffic. What is this? So yeah, I can understand it not being some people's type of show out there. But of course, have fun over there. Tell the boys I said hello. Tell John I'll see him later for our side quest.
Is it a big UFC fight this week?
No, the numbered fight last week. It goes back to just a regular one this week. I don't even know where it's at this week.
I'm wondering because it seems like more and more people are criticizing the schedule.
I think it's an Apex fight. It is an Apex fight this week.
Okay.
Yeah, people are unhappy with the overall takeaway I have, at least, of this season so far. 3-4 good fights on a card,
right,
and then a lot of can live without.
Huh.
It seems different this year. It does out there. So we'll talk with Lou about that coming up. But I'll get you going here till Lou comes in here. Dale's out of here till tomorrow. So see you later, Dale.
You got it,
come
Steve.
on back. Go Suns. And we're back here. Main event. Dale, of course, takes off here. Goes and does the hit. Uncle Lou comes in at 9 o'clock. Of course, we'll talk a little WBC with him with the knockout stages coming up here as well. UFC fight this weekend. Apex fight, which actually the main fight here on the UFC this weekend. Emmett is fighting. I like him as a fighter, so we'll see what Lou's fights are on that here. 5 p.m. main card here this weekend from the Meta Apex there in Las Vegas coming up as well. So I looked it up because Robert chimed in, and I knew this as well. I was trying to figure out when they told him he was coming back, though. Robert said DeRosa was the WBC manager in 2023 also. But I was trying to find out because they named him at some point. So I just did a quick Google search here as well. I'm looking. So apparently he just kept the same job as he went on. Excuse me, folks. I have bad eyes here. Yeah, so they just kept him as manager from last time as well. Of course, he was on MLB Network's daily morning program there. What was that? What's that called? Was that called MLB Morning? MLB Central or something to that effect is where he came from. Of course, played in the league, was in the World Baseball Classic back in early 2000s as well from that. But yeah, looks like they just kept him as manager, so he's known all along. Yeah, I didn't know if they were. I was kind of thinking that they were like, oh, we'll have to see who the new manager is coming up. But Robert also says, they were not serious when they made DeRosa the manager. Even if they do celebrate too much, there's no need to tell everybody. That's my bigger issue. And that was kind of what I was portraying here. I just saw the comments about how he thought they had clinched it. I went back and watched more of those comments on Major League, MLB.com and all that stuff. I went back and watched more of that interview. And then on top of it, I watched some other things out there. They were he wasn't basically, he was just like, yeah, we celebrated. We knew we clinched. We know we're going to clinch. And it just gave me bad vibes. Because even if they went out and drank and celebrated after the Mexico win, even if now his quip about thinking they had clinched, he didn't know the difference. He didn't realize that he hadn't clinched yet when he said it. So I can understand him saying that. The bigger problem, my God, is after he says that and then he brags about, why are you bragging about partying too much? Even if you did clinch, it's a terrible, terrible look there for the U.S. side, I think, as well for there. So no World Baseball Classic today. It starts tomorrow. 2 games tomorrow in terms of Friday. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, so 3:30 our time. Korea and Dominican. We'll talk to Lou about this. I know he's chomping at the bit here. Then USA and Canada coming up at 5 p.m. our time and Eastern time there as well tomorrow. That's from Houston, Texas as well on Friday. Then to just give you a preview, then on Saturday, you've got Italy plays their round there at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon our time. Venezuela and Japan play, so you can see Otani and the boys 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll have to wait and see who moves on there for the semifinals on Sunday, and Monday will be the one game each there, Sunday and Monday. And we'll see who, of course, moves on to battle it out as well. The final will be on Tuesday, St. Patty's Day. St. Patrick's Day is the 17th, Lou, isn't it? Yeah, it's I believe so.
My bad.
I know. Lou's making me think here. That's my Irish holiday there, Lou. I think it's the 17th. I get confused because my mom's birthday is right around there as well, and I always get confused if her birthday or is it St. Patrick's Day on which day as well from that. So we'll talk about that more coming up with Lou. Of course, Suns play today, 4 p.m. Pacers. Look, there's no other way to put it. The way they played against the Bucks, you want to see that same format. You want to see that same win, as Dale said, and you should beat the Pacers. They're not a good team. You should, period, beat the Pacers tonight as well at 4 p.m. This is the one where they play the Pacers tonight, 4 p.m. our time, 7 Eastern, of course. Then tomorrow, back-to-back, they go to Toronto. So they go across the border up there, northern border, to Toronto, where they play tomorrow as well, 4:30 p.m. Phoenix time, 7:30 p.m. there in Toronto tomorrow. So this is a back-to-back. You got to win tonight. Now, then we'll determine what happens on the back-to-back the next night, as you know how guys like to rest and things to that effect. In terms of the NBA standings, Phoenix Suns obviously still in that 7th spot right now. 5 games ahead of the 8th place Clippers right now. So they are extending that lead over that 8th spot. I told you before, I'm pretty convinced they're going to finish in that 7th spot. Unless just injuries happen and they go on a long losing streak, Suns are going to finish in that 7th spot. Timberwolves coming down as well. As you saw, they've lost 3 in a row. You got them coming up here on this road trip as well. Timberwolves have 40 wins on the season. You're a game and a half back from the Timberwolves right now. Nuggets not doing any better. You're right there with them. You're a game and a half back from the Nuggets as well in that 5th spot there. And then the Lakers, you're still within striking distance. Lakers you're 2.5 games back from the Lakers. So 4, 5, 6 are still in play for the Suns, especially if they play the way they did against the Bucks. Big 12 tournament, as of course we talked about the Players Championship underway this morning. Well, the other thing is Bobby Hurley, of course, his ASU team got destroyed yesterday in that game. Their scoring was a premium there with that 91-42 loss there to the Sun Devils. Bobby Hurley, of course, after the game, was told he's not being fired. They're just not renewing his contract. I know it's semantics, to be honest with you, but to me, it's a different situation than firing him. They're just not going to renew his contract coming up in June. But today, finally, there's a Wildcats get underway here in this tournament. They, of course, had the first couple days off there. Texas Tech, Iowa State, which is a game I'm really looking forward to watching. Well, that's a 9:30 a.m. our time here. 11:30 a.m. in Kansas City. So that's coming up. What'd you say, Lou?
It's a hot team.
They are. Iowa State's very hot, especially with the
No,
confidence they
they're
have.
being bad. The wise guys are on them. This
Are they
year.
really?
Yeah, big.
That's what I was
big,
just going to ask
big,
you.
Big.
Over Texas Tech, huh?
Big.
Hey, there you go, folks. You heard it right there. Wise guys up on Iowa State. The way they played yesterday, I'm looking forward to this game a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just looking forward to watching it. But if I had to put money down, if I was going to, I don't know what the spread is right now. I would actually lean Iowa State with the way they looked yesterday. Now, granted, it was an Arizona State Sun Devil team with a coach on his way out, but I did like the way they looked yesterday. So we'll have to see. Arizona does play the next game there, 2 p.m. Central Time, which, of course, noon our time here against UCF. Central Florida is who Arizona plays today as they get their Big 12 championship thing. Look, they've had a couple days off. They haven't played till Saturday. I don't think that's going to affect a lot of things there for Arizona. But I think this is the first stage where you're looking at it going, how does Arizona come out in a conference championship bracket format? How do they come out and look here in this format? There's a lot of hesitation from Arizona fans and other people saying this is what we do. We falter in these types of situations. Not so much in the conference tournament, but you want them to come out and look good today and not hesitate because that's just going to add to that angst. That's noon our time here on the West Coast here. Arizona and UCF coming up. And then you got Houston, BYU coming up at 6 p.m. Central, so 4 p.m. our time. And then TCU, Kansas ends up the night here, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So how does Arizona look today when they come out there? It's a question. I'm going to, with Lou on, if he's not insulted by this, I'll have the Texas Tech Iowa State game on about 9:30 because I'm really looking forward to watching that in the second half here when we get done here with the program today. And I'm actually shocked that he said wise guys are on Iowa State today. Actually kind of surprises me a little bit that they're big on Iowa State, as Lou just said, as well for that. So Dale brought it up earlier on the players. I want to go back to golf here real quick. You know, they have that massive $25 million purse, which is bigger than any major, which is bigger than any other tournament out there right now. It's the most competitive field in golf as well, the players that's going on right now as well. TPC Sawgrass is one of the most demanding courses. It's an iconic course. It's a demanding course here for these golfers and things to that effect and everything. And, you know, it's not a major. Obviously, TPC Sawgrass doesn't get linked as a major there and stuff like that. All of that's going into this golf tournament going into this weekend. Last month, the PGA Tour released a hype video, is what I'm going to call it. They released a video out there, and they said March is going to be a major. It's going to be major, unquote. Because they want to start a conversation. It's kind of what this hype video was from the PGA Tour and stuff like that as well. If you don't know, the PGA Tour is not in charge of the majors. The majors are in charge of the majors. And it seems to be, at least here with going into this, and there's a lot of talk about this leading up to it and going into it. You kind of like heard the noise, but now that it's here, make no mistake about it, the PGA Tours and their CEO are out here, and I think they're attacking the majors right now. Could it be that the majors are letting the live golfers in and they're kind of annoyed by that, right? That type of a situation. But you're seeing, starting here with the players this weekend, a higher purse than the majors, more competitive field, TPC Sawgrass being a harder course and a more iconic course. Is the PGA Tour attacking the majors right now with some of these things? Starting here with the players. Something to keep an eye on. Obviously, I don't know if it affects fans out there of golf. I don't know if it's going to affect the players, at least initially, but it is something that I do find interesting. If you can make regular season PGA Tour events a little bit bigger here than the majors leading up to that, and more focus on PGA Tour events as opposed to that as well. It's kind of what you're looking at there. I know I'm kind of bouncing around, but I'm just trying to hit some news and no's out there. Well, I told you the Suns were a couple games up here on the Clippers going in, in that 8th spot. Well, the Clippers beat the Timberwolves last night, 153 to 128 out there. They're 33 and 32 on the season. which is good because they started 6-21 on the season. Of course, they made some big trades here at the trade deadline as well. The Clippers are now the only team in NBA history to move above 500 after falling at least 15 games below 500 in the same season. So I'm not going to tell you that the Clippers are on fire right now because they're technically not, but that's one heck of a comeback for them into that season. And I wouldn't sleep on them there behind the Suns on the A spot. That's where the Suns have to keep pushing that as well moving forward. It was official yesterday. Kyler Murray was released by your Arizona Cardinals. Now, with Geno Smith going to the Jets, I told you yesterday, it's pretty much down to only a handful of teams that have a spot that can afford Kyler Murray. I know he's going to take the league minimum. He's going to sign for basically 1 year, $1.5 million in that range, because the Cardinals have to pay the rest of that salary out there and everything. But there's only a few teams that can either have the spot for him, can afford him, or he can step in and compete for a starting spot and things to that effect. Lou says it won't be Minnesota. I've been telling everybody for the last 3 months it's going to be Minnesota.
That's right, because you're listening to all the people that don't know.
No, actually, I've got an inside source on this one. They said the Minnesota's been eyeing him for a couple months now. Well, Lou, who do you think is going to be then if it's not Minnesota?
I don't think it's that coach will take him. Listen, Kyler Murray can't read Dr. Seuss, let alone an NFL defense. I think not Stefanski. O'Connell. I don't think he takes him. I think it's a head fake. We'll see.
Where does he end up at then?
That's not my job. What my job is when he lands at a place, then I'll assess it.
Well, the big rumors was Jets, and I never believed that because of the cold weather and other things where Kyler Murray just doesn't play in those environments and stuff like that. But really, so you're on that bandwagon. Well, we'll find out here. It's going to be interesting because he's going to sign here in the next 3 or 4 days. It'll be interesting to see where that signing, because it's the league minimum. Basically, right now it's who wants him, because he's going to sign for a 1 year, like I said, $1.5 million deal or something. It's going to be who wants him and where does he want to go, more importantly, on his side of it. So even though J.J. McCarthy's in Minnesota and they're not fond of him right now.
Carolina.
You think Carolina's an option with Bryce Young there?
I think he's going to go somewhere out of the blue that people aren't talking about. One thing we know for sure is that NFL teams do not open their doors and windows and let people listen into their private conversations. So what everybody knows and thinks is wrong, and what everybody doesn't see and doesn't know is correct.
That's Lou's philosophy, everybody, as we all know. There as well. We'll get into more of that coming up as well. I wanted to get you just caught up on what was happening around, the sports world here today, and we'll get into WBC a little bit more with Lou.
Oh, yes.
Coming up as well with the Players' Championship happening right now. The Baltimore situation is fascinating with how they denied Max Crosby's now saying, I'm a Raider. Max Crosby's back on the I want to be a Raider bandwagon. Brett Favre, Crosby is back again.
That's as unfair a statement as you've made with me in 3 years we've been doing this together.
That's saying a lot, because I've said some worse stuff.
Yes, you have.
He's back and forth. I want to be here. I don't want to be here. I want to be here. I don't want to be here.
Let me ask you this. What does he have to do with it? Absolutely jack.
Well, no.
Squat. Squat.
He tried to force his way out of there before. Then he decided to stay because they hired his coach. And then he tried to force his way out again. And then he wanted to stay again. And then he forced his way out. And that's why he got traded to Baltimore. And now he's back with the Raiders. And then he'll get traded again. And then he'll go, I never wanted to be a Raider. I'm just tired of the back and forth, Lou.
It's posturing. Wait, you're talking about millions of dollars here.
No, I get that 100%. And he was embarrassed by this move as well. I think that goes into
I may have to take the similar approach as Max Crosby when it comes time for me to renegotiate with TME
Well, just don't make me call you Lou, Brett Favre, Uncle Brett Favre, Lou.
Yeah, please don't call me that.
Then don't go to that length then.
No, please.
Uncle Lou's coming up next, folks. Come on back. The main event, second hour, coming up next. A lot of things matter about how long we'll be at this place, Lou. Here,
I like this place. Look at I remembered that
Yeah.
the brick background was red. I brought some contrast.
I
in.
know. Yeah, I know. I have real bricks behind me, and you have the fake ones over there. But yeah, no, it's nice. We not, like I said, we spent the time this time. Oh gosh, leading up to coming back in here, like 2 weeks before, Riley was in here getting stuff ready. You know, the door there just kind of encapsulates it a little bit more.
No, we have
Keeps
a bunch
the air
of
right and everything.
Yeah,
so.
this is absolutely a studio now. We got all kinds of buffering and padding
Yeah.
in here. Good color.
And we'll find out. The lighting's way better now than it was
Great
before. I'm still playing with my background and stuff like that. We're just leaving it like this right now. But yeah, no, it's good. And then we got the offices in the back there now, and that are all set up differently. So feeling a little bit nicer. And like I said, you do commercial real estate, and you asked how long we're going to be here. Well, it depends on some other opportunities we have. It comes down to how much space we need with some other opportunities coming up.
That's what you're going to really
so.
need to try and define. And once we get that defined, then we'll be able to.
Yeah, and I have to
figure
rely
something
on other people that are waiting with some of their ideas and what they want to do and what space they're going to need. So I have to wait on them.
Yeah,
so.
collaboration's a
Yeah,
bitch.
it's a pain in the butt when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to work with people and stuff like that. But no, everybody's happy with this. It's fun, and we'll see
Good.
this week when we get to 100 degrees. Because last time it was a little warm in here, but we think we got it shut down enough now to where when the air is on, at least now it cools down in here. It actually gets really chilly.
Oh, perfect.
Good to have
I'll
there.
look forward to.
Yeah, because I know last time
experiencing
you
that.
were practically sweating to death a couple
yes,
times.
we got a couple times the last time we were here. It was a little warm, and I run warm. I run hot.
Yeah, we haven't set up the fans yet in here, so in case we need them yet. But
Looks great in
we'll
here,
see
by
on
the
that.
way.
But Robert says can't read Dr. Seuss, let alone NFL defenses. That's what Lou said there earlier. He said Uncle Lou, Louisms never disappoint.
That's right, and Uncle Lou can barely get out of Dr. Seuss too, Robert. So just FYI, it takes one to know one.
Of course, second hour main event here on Thursdays means Uncle Lou comes into the program. Now we looks at WBC, of course, with that going on. College baseball coming up. We're getting closer, Lou, to hockey, NHL hockey.
Yep.
Which I actually haven't paid attention to the last week or so. I took my eyes off of that with NASCAR and IndyCar being into town and things like that. So you'll have to inform me if anything's changed in hockey over the last week. But first, get into where people can find you, what you do, all of that stuff, like always, because we have an Apex fight this week.
I am a sports handicapper and have been doing it my whole life. Before it was vogue and popular, and I walked around like with a shroud over my head because most people was, that's Lou Finicaro, but he's a gambler. There was always this veil of illegitimacy around gamblers. Now, 7 years ago, PASPA gets approved, and now people want to talk to me, which is great. I make bets on select sporting events with the single point of focus to derive profit. I'm not looking to have fun. I don't want to try and get an 18-1 odds and tell everybody, well, look at what great odds I got, because odds don't pay the bills. Winning tickets pay the bills. That's what I want to publicize. So what I did was made a web page, Gamblu.com. There you can go to, in one stop, find everything you need to find out about me. And as far as everything profitable sports gaming is concerned, it's all right there. Two things I want to mention. Number one, my two podcasts. The first one, Sneak Teep Podcast, is an early look at each week's UFC fight lines and where they opened and where they have changed. And you can see that podcast available right on my webpage. It's also available anywhere you get your podcasts. Then on Friday, after the weigh-ins, tomorrow weigh-ins will be 9 a.m. Pacific time, which, oh, by the way, Arizona is now Pacific.
The 9-hour time.
So from 9 to 10, we'll have weigh-ins, and shortly after that, the Bout Business podcast will drop. That will be my final releases for that week's UFC card. And let's hope this week's releases are better than last week's, because I offered last week.
Ooh.
Hey, it happens.
Yes, it does.
And so that's the business side of Gamblu.com. However, the ethical side, the side that I believe is the most important side of Gamblu.com is the tab at the far right top corner, San Xavier Del Bach Mission, which is the oldest mission in Arizona. It's the oldest mission in the United States, erected in the late 1600s. These people are doing great work for the community down south of Tucson. It's a beautiful little mission and church. They have bazaars and food on Saturdays and Sundays. The Mexican food there will knock your socks off. It's so good. And they're doing great work. Down there, Kobe is flashing the link that will take you straight to the San Xavier mission. Gamblu.com is happy to route proceeds from our business to the mission regularly each year. Anyone interested can hit that link and go right to the San Xavier Del Bach mission page. And Steve is good enough to allow me to a couple minutes each week I'm on to talk about this. It's really a great cause and a great entity.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the way the world is going right now, it's a great cause to support, and it goes to charitable things here in Arizona, obviously, and that we all got to support that, even though times are tough for a lot of people out there, and obviously help out where we can out there. So, and I told you we stopped there over the holidays, coming back from New Mexico. I took the kids down there, first time they'd been there, and they're doing a big renovation right now. We saw the school next door to it, and all of that, and it's just a beautiful place here in Arizona when everything old here gets torn down and built over. And
you weren't disappointed, were you? I mean, yeah, good.
I've been there.
Of course.
Before. My daughter kept asking, like, what's with these paintings? Because literally, designs on the walls and stuff from the 1700s.
1800s, yeah.
It's like, well, they did things differently back then. People looked differently when they painted them back then. So it was amazing. She took all these pictures of it. She loved the atmosphere in there in terms of the art and stuff like that. So even if you're not a religious person, just the architecture alone is fantastic to see down there. So,
just if you're into history, you go down there, you see something built that's been standing since the 1690s or 70s. Yeah. That's heavy.
And on their renovation now, they're trying to get back to the original colors of it.
Yes.
From what I was reading down there, which would be cool to see because the colors back then, were bright and vibrant, and they kind of went away with that because they couldn't do it. I guess technology's back to where they're able to do it now, so it'll be fun to see when they get done renovating it.
In the 1800s and early 1900s, when they tried to improve and deal with the stucco fascia, the technology then clearly wasn't what it is today, and so they gummed it up.
Yeah.
So now we're fixing what needed to be fixed from years ago, and eventually it's going to just shine.
Absolutely. So they're doing that now, but no, glad to bring it up, especially in today's world, man. It's people need help out there, and help out how you can, or if you're able to. And I'm glad that you do that. Because like I said, I watch a lot of gambling stuff out there, and it's just always, hey, here's how I can make you money, or this is how I make money, and stuff like that. And I just I can't express it enough how much I appreciate that, yes, you're here to make money. Yes, you're here to have, do that stuff. But at the same time, you're focused on that side of it as well. And it takes a little bit of that sleaze out of it, if you will allow me to say that.
Yeah, gambling can be, something that not everybody is favorable towards. That's okay. But surely recognizing people that are giving of themselves to others, that's to be acknowledged everywhere, and that's what they're doing.
And they still do church down there too. Like when we got there, it was
Sunday Mass.
It was closed. No, we were there on a. Were we there on a Sunday? Might have been. But the day we were there, it was closed for like an hour because they were doing mass and everything in there. So we will walk the outside of the grounds until it opened up and things to that effect. So it's still a functioning place as well.
If you go on a weekend when they have that bazaar, I'm telling you, the food there, it will knock your socks off. Tucson, first of all, has the best Sonoran food north of Sonora, Mexico, and because it's just barely north. But you go to the bazaar and you're tasting the food right out of their kitchen, right out of their crock pot. It's unbelievable.
And you can even go, 45 minutes south of there and hit Tubac up down south there, which gets, even closer to the Mexican border. Big resort down. They filmed Tin Cup there I've golfed that golf course several times.
Tin Cup was filled in Tubac?
And Tubac, yeah. At that
Oh,
golf
really? My
course,
wife
yeah.
loves to go. They're shopping down there
Yeah.
in shops. The women love it.
That's another what 45 minutes roughly
Yes,
south
and then-
of that of the San
Of the
Xavier?
Mission, and then another half hour south of that is No Go,
Yeah, yeah.
a place that
Nogales.
Uncle Louie had an experience in college that I wish I never had, and I'm not willing to share.
The last time I was down in Nogales, quick little story. I was in the corporate world and I did stuff with jails, for coatings in jails and stuff like that. And there's obviously a large facility down there on the border for a lot of stuff. So I had to go down there every couple weeks to do some inspections and write some stuff off or whatever. And every time I go down there, they would literally be like, so this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. They literally would be like, don't wear this. Don't wear this color.
Yeah,
don't wear
right.
this.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're like, when you pull in on this side because they'll be watching you from the border side and all that. I'm just like, where are you guys taking me right now? Like, we're still in America, right? But I mean, it's right there on the border. So it was always interesting. But we'd always stop at Tubac and play golf and have lunch and all that. It was fantastic down there. So there you go. Make it a Southern Arizona weekend.
Southern Arizona's
coming up.
totally underrated. Whether it's Benson, Sierra Vista,
Oh, yeah, you go out to Benson.
Bisbee. You want
I
to go
love being
back
from
to
Bisbee.
Haight-Ashbury in 1968? Go to Bisbee, Arizona
Yeah.
today. It's that.
The Screaming Banshee pizza place is fantastic to eat there. I think it's still open. I know they were having some problems after COVID, but I think it's open now. But do the train ride where you sit on the little train, Lou. Have you done that?
No, I've
Sat
not.
on the little train and go into the mine.
No, I've not. I've not done that. Most of my experiences revolve around going into an establishment and having a cold
They have
one to wet
They have
my
that
whistle.
they have that haunted hotel down there you can hang out in. Of course,
I've been to the bar in the haunted
yeah.
hotel
And
many
then
a
of course
time.
you can hit Tombstone up on your way out of there and stuff like that. Sierra Vista. Yeah, but Lou, enough reminiscing about Arizona. WBC's underway.
Man, I mean, and now it's really good because you have the 8 teams that all belong, and there could be a 12-0, but I doubt it. These are going to be competitive, good games. We saw, I mean, the story of the tournament is Italy. They're kicking ass and taking names. The other story of the tournament is the U.S. manager not knowing the tiebreakers, which is a little bit embarrassing.
I talked about that earlier.
And the only thing as embarrassing as the U.S. manager not knowing how the tiebreakers work was Uncle Louie misreading the bracket for this.
Wait, you pulled a DeRosa and misread the brackets?
I misread the bracket from the beginning. Now, I've had Japan at plus 330 to 390, depending where you shop, from the beginning. But as I read the bracket, it was Japan that was on the Dominican side that was going to have to play the Dominicans in order to get to the U.S. side. Oh, no. No, it's wrong. The Dominicans in the U.S. play each other, and that winner plays the Japan side. Who's Japan got on their side? Japan, Venezuela, Italy, and Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Japan is set so favorably to get to the finals. They're currently priced plus 450 at DraftKings.
Really?
Run, don't walk.
You see me grab my phone
Run,
here.
don't walk.
They're
I'm
really
telling you.
plus 450. Really?
At plus 450, you got $1 to win $4.50. If they get to the finals, and they should beat Venezuela, and then they'll have Italy or Puerto Rico. They get to the finals, that's actionable, meaning you just take the other side, you can win profit either way. So I'm really high on Japan. I added to the bet at plus 450 once I saw the bracket set up.
DraftKings has them at plus 425 right now.
Yes.
Well, no,
okay, that's
I'm
because
sorry.
Uncle Louie affected
I'm sorry,
that
that's for
450.
champion. Are you talking champion?
Yes,
or
I'm
you're
talking to win
okay.
the whole
Yeah.
thing,
So
no
they have them
doubt
at
about it.
Plus
Yes.
425. But shop it around. You're going to find different numbers everywhere. I'm just saying on DraftKings right now at this moment. U.S. is plus 140 favorites, by the way. Everybody else is plus 1,000 or higher.
Yeah,
plus
and
1,600.
you have to respect the U.S.
Well,
because of the
Dominican-
pitchers and the players and
Yeah.
all that.
Dominicans plus 230. So they actually have better odds than Japan does.
But they're gonna have an emotional game should the U.S. play the Dominicans. That's going to be like Frazier and Ali, and so I'm hoping that Japan tiptoes through the tulips into the final against a team that's just had an emotional game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big matchup coming up. Question. Let me ask you this, because I came in today because I went back and I listened to DeRosa's response. It's bad enough that he didn't know the tiebreakers and that they didn't clinch. He didn't know all that. So that's bad enough. But then I went back even more so and watched more of that interview, some more conversation around it, and then he went on to talk about how the team went out and celebrated clinching when they didn't clinch. And they all were out too late at night. And a lot of the guys were, I'm going to use the term hungover, but he didn't use it. But they were tired, right? Because they were out partying all night after supposedly clinching when they didn't. And then the Italy game, they kind of just threw in the towel and stuff to that effect. I'm arguing that the U.S. team, and then I watched the Dominican Republic, then I watched Japan play in this. Even Venezuela, Netherlands, who are now out of it, and those types of teams, they're excited to be there, and the way they're playing with an emotion I'm not seeing from the U.S. team in that first, the pool play round. Is that a concern for you for the U.S. when they do if they do make it to the Dominican Republic team? Is just the U.S. just to me doesn't really care about being there, and these other teams do. That worries me a little bit.
Yeah, I think that I have to comprehensively disagree with absolutely everything you just said. It means a ton to these guys. When these guys wear USA, there is no NL, there is no AL, there is no Seattle, there is no Washington Nationals. There's a bunch of Americans playing for America. They're focused. They want to win. They laid a big egg the other day, despite what their manager did or didn't do. Now they're focused. There's no surprises. Mexico lays an egg yesterday, helps the U.S. get in. Now the U.S. has Canada in what should be a much more competitive game than people think. Why?
Really?
Because the U.S. just pulled the rug out from Canadian hockey in the Olympics.
Yeah, Canada won.
Don't think for a minute Canada isn't going to give their best effort to try and topple the U.S. And you know what? Since the U.S. was just toppled by Italy, all those other teams got way more confidence against them than they had. So this is no cakewalk for the U.S., despite the fact that their talent seems to earn them the role of favorite.
Yeah, I mean the best fielded U.S. team in the World.
I mean, they got on the hill. They got Skubal. Who's the other
Skubal
kid?
went back to the Tigers. So he went back with them. He's not going to pitch anymore, but you still have Skeens there.
Skeens, right? Yes.
You still have some dominating guys here on this team. Even with Skubal gone, they're still there. Then then obviously their hittings are deadly. This is a gauntlet here of U.S. hitters. A la Japan. Japan's hitters are playing really well, and then even though Otani's not pitching, Yamamoto is, and they have those Japan players that we don't know here in America because they play over in Japan. But they're good enough to come over here and play in Major League Baseball on that Japan squad.
And that's a team that really works on the cohesion and the togetherness of creating a team. They believe that their team concept is what separates them from these other teams that are all-stars that just get together for this tournament. I believe that too.
Yeah, Otani didn't even come to spring training. He was there training with the Japanese team and everything. So we're not announcing that. The team concept there.
I mean, I've been doing jumping jacks for Japan for 6 months now. If you're not on the boat by now, then you're almost too late. But boy, 450 is a nice number.
Yeah, that's when you said that, I almost fell out of my chair.
I mean, I
expected them to be like 150, maybe 200 with U.S. and like the
they've
Dominican
had 5 of these tournaments, and Japan's won 3. I mean, come on, and they won the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, what more you need?
Yeah, absolutely. So WBC's going on. Hockey, I told you I haven't. Just quick hockey talk here. With the IndyCar being in town this last weekend in NASCAR, I took my eye completely off of hockey. I know they had their trade deadline end of last week as well. I didn't see any huge names being traded in that there. Anything change in hockey that you've noticed at all while we're getting closer to playoff time?
The story of Buffalo continues to drive the NHL, and it's a great story.
Won 8 in a row now,
and and 2 of them were against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're just they're beating up on slugs. They're playing really good hockey. They're a young team. They're beginning to believe. Somebody better watch out for Buffalo.
Buffalo makes the well, you know this as well as I do. NHL comes down to momentum, goaltending, and momentum going into the playoffs. We're still what, a month out or so from the playoffs starting. So can they keep this momentum up? But that'll be huge for a young team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I
with
hope
that
they keep it
momentum.
up, because the more they keep it up, the more the spotlight goes off of Tampa, and the more Uncle Louie's money goes on Tampa.
Exactly. Detroit. Don't sleep on Detroit. I mean,
Can't
I'm not
sleep
talking
on
about
Detroit.
sleeping on Detroit, but Detroit's another. It's hard to say Detroit's a good story this year, but they've been down in the dumps for a lot of years now in terms of hockey, and they're right there. They're the first wild card spot right now as
Anytime
well.
we-
So there's some good stories there.
There really is, and that's original eight. Anytime you get an original eight, I mean, we're going to lose Tampa from the playoffs, but we're going to get Detroit. Okay, I can deal with it.
Yeah, right. I think it's always good
Not
when
Tampa,
those guys are
Toronto.
involved.
I meant to say. Excuse
Toronto.
me.
Yeah, Toronto. Oof.
Toronto's gutless, despite the fact they brought Berube in. He can't even push the buttons there. They're a bunch of vanilla. They're a bunch of chocolate milk.
It's
drinking pussies.
amazing how these Canadian teams, good. Let's make some changes and get better. Worse.
Yeah, and they try and adapt themselves to winning regular season games, which does not lend itself at all to playoff hockey.
And they're failing at that this year. Yeah, right now, I mean, Toronto Maple Leafs are going to miss the playoffs. Florida Panthers also
Probably
going to
miss.
Yeah, most likely. They have 67
I mean,
points.
they get a reprieve. All they've done is won the last 3 out of 4 cups.
Yeah,
Come
3
on,
out of
man.
4, yeah, but it's so it is going to be a different playoffs coming up from there. Avalanche are still, they're losing more than they did earlier this season, but they're still being
target.
dominant out there, and,
Yes,
the side from there. Dallas Stars, though, I know you're not high on Dallas. I'm not either come playoff time, but they are surprising me a little bit with how they're keeping the Wild and going toe-to-toe with the Wild here as this season goes on. I don't know if that means anything for playoffs or if I'm going to change my opinion on them there, but I am impressed with the way they're keeping Minnesota Wild kind of at bay right now and with that competition.
Yeah, you're good. Let's keep Minnesota quiet. Let's not tell everybody how good they are.
And then your Golden Knights.
Yeah, I'm not a believer this year. Usually I am. They're always
sucking now.
They're always aggressive trading and bringing in players. I think they're missing. They're slipping a little this year.
Anaheim Ducks. It goes Anaheim Ducks, Edmonton Oilers, then Golden Knights there in the Pacific, and Knights have lost 3 in a row now. They're just, to me, they're just an older team. Yeah, they make all those trades to kind of prop up and stuff. But I think they need like a total rebuild here. Get rid of these old guys on this team and just start over and bring in some young guys and go from there because they're struggling. But Utah Mammoth still in that outside wild card, wild card spot, and the Seattle Kraken.
Kraken and Mammoth, don't overlook them. That West is wide open after Colorado. Who's it going to be?
Well, then you got the Kings right there as well outside. They just fired their coach.
Yeah, Kings struggle so mightily to score, but they play playoff hockey, so they're always alive come playoff
Right now they're
time.
outside looking in. The Kraken passed them, and they fired their coach. But the Kings are somebody to watch, and shockingly, the Sharks. When's the last time you talked about the Sharks, Lou?
I'd have you look at Minnesota.
So there we go. And then last week, of course. Well, anything else you want to talk about on? I know college baseball is going. We're about to get into conference play here in the next few weeks in college baseball here. Anything else you want to mention before we get into UFC here?
I have a guy that found me. He was a football client of mine. He's a wealthy doctor in Dallas. And he basically, we got together for the football contest in Vegas this past year because he realized that I have some ability in picking NFL. Well, he's a big college basketball guy. And if you don't believe it, just ask him because he'll tell you. He'll spend 20 minutes telling you. And he wears me out. But I'll tell you what, he give me 3 games yesterday. Every single one of them hit.
Really?
Yes. And so here's his best bets for today.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor, and these doctors, they're cross-eyed fools when it comes to gambling. They got more money than they know what to do with.
What kind of doctor are you allowed to say?
He's just a GP.
Okay, so nothing like he's not like a surgeon or a plastic surgery guy.
No,
or anything like that.
no, but he when I get a cold, he tells me what to do and this, that, and the other. So here's his bets for today. Again, yesterday he goes 4-1. The one loss It was his birthday, and so the one loss was Montana. It was late last night,
Yeah, that was a late
and
game.
he was so happy that he was 4-0. He got into the sauce a little bit and didn't realize Montana's best player was out. Took the wrong team. We could see the money was going towards Idaho the whole time.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I love Montana. I love Montana. Well, he went down with Montana because he was enjoying his birthday. And I give him a pass this morning. I told him, listen, the market knew that this kid was out and you didn't. That's a huge guffaw.
Yeah.
You if you're in this business, you can't allow that to happen. However, it was his birthday, so I'm not going to beat him up too bad because I know he was in the sauce.
Yeah.
So it is 4-1 is 4-1. So here's what he took today. And these games go pretty soon if they're in 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
NC State, Iowa, Arizona, and Louisville. Those are the releases for him today. NC State, I don't know what the points are in these. Iowa State, Iowa, Arizona, and Louisville. I took some Iowa State. They're giving 6 or 6.5 to whoever it is
last
they play.
I saw, they played Texas Tech. That
Whoever
kicks
they
off
play,
in
I took a little
10
of
minutes.
that, and we'll see what happens. But he's
I'm just
I
writing it
don't.
down because I'm kind of curious on this guy.
Well,
now.
I don't mind sharing his stuff. He is very good. And again, if you don't believe him, I'll give you his phone number. He can talk to you for
The
25 minutes.
NC
He'll
State
tell
one,
you.
because I just looked it up, because NC State won, and that's actually underway right now. It's 16-13 NC State, but they're playing Virginia. Who's a 12th ranked Virginia as well.
Yep.
So before that game, NC State was an underdog. I don't know what the numbers were. That is
Well,
that
I
is
can tell
halfway
you
through
what the numbers were.
that is halfway through the first right now.
Well, maybe I can't
for them
tell
as
you.
well. But that'd be a monumental upset that he's picking right there, Lou, with NC State. There.
Well, the other thing I like about him is he does pick underdogs. So NC State was getting 6.5 or 6 as well.
So right now with live betting, they're getting 5.5.
And they're up by 1.
I'm sorry, 3.5. It just moved plus 3.5 on them right now.
Yeah, because
Minus
they're up.
115. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
But they're still on the money line. They're still plus 165.
Yeah, I'd wait and see if you can get a little bit of a run out of Virginia, and if you can get
Yeah.
NC State at 6 or 7 close to the opener, then you might get involved.
Yeah, Arizona, of course,
Who they
plays here
play?
noon. They play UCF today.
University Cal Fullerton,
Central Florida.
Central Florida. Okay.
At noon today. Let me flip through because
They got to be given what 15,
well, really
18.
quick since it's in front of me. Louisville right now. Louisville's playing Miami. That's a number 3 and a number 6 seed battling.
Louisville's given 1.5.
24 seed
for a
there for
pick.
Louisville in that side of it. Louisville's a 6 seed in this tournament. Miami's a 3 seed in this tournament. 1.5 right now. Miami's the favorite. I'm sorry, Louisville's the favorite by 1.5 points right now. And minus 112 Louisville, minus 106 Miami.
Yeah, shot
So
that one because
it's a
I'm
prick
seeing
up.
Louisville favored and I'm seeing Miami
Yeah.
favored.
Let's
So
say it
I
looks
mean,
like
you could go somewhere and get
Yeah.
2 on one team and plus 2 on the other team and have both teams plus 2.
that's what I was
I'd
gonna
play
ask
that
you.
all day.
because at DraftKings at least is telling me that DraftKings is like, oh no,
Yeah,
I don't know
I-
who's going to win this.
In basketball, I'll do a +2 and a +2. Why? Because I have no risk whatsoever and I could hit a middle and I don't know the sport, so that makes it easy.
Well, exactly. And then Arizona's 15.5 point favorites right now
Over University of
UCF.
California. Yeah,
Minus 2,400 on the money line if you want to, if you need to hide money from your wife because you're going through a divorce. Throw
well,
a big,
you may
big chunk on that.
you bet a minus 2,400 in basketball. You better hide from the gambling police.
My theory on that, because you always see somebody
Especially
go,
if it's
I'll put
Arizona.
$1 million. Oh, that's the worry, right? How's Arizona going to look today? But
The best thing happened to Arizona would be if they trip all over their tongue over in this conference tournament, get beat by somebody they shouldn't, and go into the tournament PO'd and focused. The best thing. The worst thing can happen to Arizona is they saw through this competition like they have in past years in the pack and go in believing in themselves in the NCAAs, and the Sisters of the Poor beat them in the first round.
And people, I'll tell you this: people are dumping money on Arizona, at least on DraftKings, because they just moved to 16.5. So you might be able to play the I don't know if you'd want to, but UCF on the other side if that number keeps rising before game time.
Yeah,
again.
I'm going to try Iowa State. If I can win it, I'm going to walk. That's it.
Yeah, I'm
it's not
looking
my
at-
sport.
I'm looking that up right now. Iowa State, as you said, 6.5-point favorites right now. Iowa State is on that side as well. So, yeah, so there you go. Lose people there.
I like to share information on the other sports that I know people are interested in. That's why I go to the extent of trying to get, some decent intel on the basketball while we're in basketball. And I'll have, between Matt Humans and Dr. Ruffino here, I'll share some basketball stuff over the next few weeks.
I just love it. This is what a lovely sport this is, where we can get info from a doctor who right now is probably
he
checking
is,
somebody's growth on their arm
that's
or
right.
something.
Oh, he's such a DG too. He's got money coming out of every orifice. He hates it, and he just throws it around. Oh, he's the best.
So let's get into just really quick last week's UFC. So it was a number fight last week. Lou, I did not get to catch as many fights as I'd like to. I was out at the NASCAR and IndyCar events out there. I did catch the later ones here, and we'll get to those. I just wanted to ask you really quick, because you did talk about Bellato here and Fernandez, the first fight of the night, light heavyweight. Bellato got the win here, performance of the night, first round KO in this fight. What do you think about Bellato after that big win there early in this fight card?
That he's still a fade.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah,
Yeah,
even though he won this fight.
Yeah, and I had I had
yeah.
Luke Fernandez, and he laid an egg, and taking a contender as a favorite against a legit UFC, that's a shaky move, and I made a shaky move.
Because Fernandez was a Contender Series guy.
That's right.
Yeah. So on that side, so but you haven't changed your opinion on Bellato in terms of
No, same
he's
thing
better.
happened in the Nurgazi fight with Tobias. Tobias come out looking the part, and he got his ass kicked.
Yeah,
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. A unanimous decision of that route. Then we get up into the bigger fights here. First one I wanted to ask you about was Dante Johnson and Cody Brundage. You said Dante Johnson should win this fight, and stuff to that. At least you talked about that last week. Huge favorite. The fact that this was a split decision, is this a shocker for you, with Brundage getting it to that split decision?
A little bit. Brundage fought a great fight, but he has all the UFC experience, and Johnson didn't. So experience matters. Who you faced matters. I say it every week when I do my breakdowns. I didn't bet that fight. But, I mean, if you bet Johnson, you were holding your breath the whole time.
Yeah. It was just interesting the way you phrased, because I went back and listened to how you phrased it last week. You just thought Johnson was going to,
decimate him.
Yeah, exactly. And it just split. And you're not the only one. I'll be honest with you. You're not the only one. I saw a lot of people talking about that last week.
No, I thought Holloway was going to do.
And I didn't get to see it. And I got done, and I looked, and I go, split decision? What happened? Is Johnson not what he's supposed to be?
Well, we'll find out in his next fight.
The experience, like you said. Our boy RoboCop there, Gregory Rodriguez, beat Ferreira there in that fight. First round KO here, minute 47 into this fight. Tell me about RoboCop. I was hoping to catch this one. I just caught the end of it because it happened so fast. I logged in late. My fault.
It was a jab. I mean, Ferreira walked into a jab, and that's it. Hey, listen, not only we lose on Ferreira, we lost on the fight to start round 2 or fight to start round 3. So we weren't close. We really weren't close on anything that I released last week. And that's disappointing to say, but you know what? I deal in a world of reality, and I just count numbers. And when I'm plus, I'm giddy. When I'm negative, I get PO'd and put more focus into the following week's card.
Does it affect you how you feel about Ferreira after this loss, or because RoboCop's an older fighter, but a good one out there, and he could do damage like we just saw. But does that affect you on Ferreira moving forward? Or does it affect you at all with RoboCop moving forward? Anything like that? Or is it just the matchup?
RoboCop's 34 and Ferreira's 33. I still think RoboCop can be had. Maybe not by Ferreira. We'll have to see who each matches up with in their next fight.
Yeah, Drew Dober over Michael Johnson in this one. Another second round KO here, minute 53 into this one. Dober gets that win. I really like him as a fighter.
Yeah, Johnson opens minus 185 by Thursday. That fight was a pick'em, and then after the weigh-ins, money started coming in on Dober.
Big.
Dober ended up closing minus 200 or so.
Wow.
And it was steam on Dober, and so everybody was like, "What do they know? Are they going to pull the fight down? What's going on?"
Exactly. That's a big number. That's
a lot
worrisome
of
numbers.
That's a lot of line movement right there.
Yeah, and but he impressed in that.
He
fight.
knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah. And then Rob Font, Raul Rosas Jr. Rosas is from here, correct?
He fights out of the MMA lab now. Yeah, he's a Mexican
Unanimous
fighter.
decision in this one. I did catch this whole fight here with Rob Font. Rosas was moving around like crazy. Font, I don't know what he was doing, but he managed to get to the decision and went unanimous toward Rosas here. Your thoughts on Font, first of all?
Yeah, 38 years old. They gave him Rosas because they want to clean him out. He makes too much money and he's too much of a veteran, and so he'll fall down into journeyman. He'll get a couple more fights, but not high profile, I don't think.
And then Rosas, young guy.
Meanwhile's fast tracked. He's from Mexico. He has a following. He has some popularity. They'll use him.
Yeah, he's got a personality on him too.
A little bit, maybe
yeah.
a little bit too much. You know, he's a young man. Maybe it's going to his head a little too quick. We'll have to monitor that.
Baralho gets the win over De Ritter. I like Baralho. He's one of those fighting nerds guys and everything. I like him as a fighter, but he gets a unanimous decision over De Ritter. Any minds changed on this one?
No, De Ritter didn't look like he really wanted to be there. He's showing the effects of cutting too much weight. And he announced after the fight he's going to 205, so he doesn't have to kill himself. He's losing these fights in his weight cut because he's showing up to these fights with no juice. So now he's going to go to the heavier guys. And when a dude fights when he should be fighting at 05 and he fights at 185, he's telling you something. What's he telling you? He's telling you, number one, I don't want to fight guys my own size. Number two, I'm a bully. I want to beat up on smaller guys. So now in his next fight, he's going to face a 205er. And unless the 205er is me and I'm a far distant cry from 205, we're going to fade De Ritter.
Yeah, the fader. Yeah, he did not impress me at all. He did look really sluggish out there.
No strike evasion, world-class grappler.
Well, and that was interesting, though. I didn't feel like he went, because that was his strength there. But even Baralho did that disrespectful thing where he fought the whole fight with his arms down because he wasn't worried about his striking and getting hit by him. But then De Ritter I felt like he didn't do enough trying to take him down at the same point, which is your strength. I'd go out of this fight trying to take somebody down. I just felt like he was even sluggish to do that.
Yeah, we discussed the fact that world class BJJ on both sides would cancel each other out, and this would be a striking match. That's what happened.
And then you got Max Holloway and Oliveira in this fight. You were big on Holloway a week before.
Big.
And then, of course, last week as well.
That was a run, don't walk.
I fell asleep during this fight, Lou. I was worn out after being out at the track all day. I caught the previous fight, sat down to watch this one on my bed.
The next thing you knew, it was Sunday morning. Wake up for church.
I woke up and was like, what? Holloway lost? What? So tell us about this fight.
Yeah.
Does your opinion change on Holloway with this 5-round unanimous decision for Oliveira?
Not unless they give him Charles Oliveira again, or maybe Gamrot, some kind of leg humper, heavy wrestling kind of a guy. He didn't do well against Oliveira. Oliveira's size and strength was too much for Max. I was surprised, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens for each next. Holloway, depending who they give him, he's viable, and Oliveira's viable as well. We'll see who they give him. Maybe he wants to try Topuria again after his fight with Gaethje.
Did I read that he called out Topuria, or was I dreaming that, or did I not see that?
I don't know who he called out. He probably called out Conor because he wanted Conor for the White House.
You might be right.
That's the money fight. But
you might be right.
I think Topuria. Topuria can only be beat by one man in his division. That's Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan is such a freaking idiot. His head is so far up his rear end, there's a bump between his shoulders because he's not endearing himself to the UFC, and the UFC isn't going to give him the fight unless he gets his act together. But Topuria wants nothing to do with Tsarukyan. And for that reason, I like Tsarukyan in that fight, and I have him to be the champ in that division at the end of the year, but we got to get the fight. We'll see if we can get it.
Absolutely. So overall, you went 3-1 2 weeks ago, and then what happens to all of us?
Yeah, I go 0-4 here last week, and I dig myself a hole, but it is what it is. It's the gambling game, and you are what your record says you are. So I need to pick myself up this week and find some profit.
Yeah, Apex fight this week. We'll get into it when we come on back. 5 p.m. main card here from Las Vegas with this Apex card. We'll get into some names on here that you'll recognize if you're a fight fan. I recognize them, which is unusual for an Apex fight. So we'll get into this when we come back with Uncle Lou here on Thursdays, the main event. And we're back here, second hour. Thursdays means Uncle Lou here, folks. In here, first time in the old new studio. I guess we're calling
Love
new,
it too.
Old new temporary studios.
I love it because I get to go right by Hava Java, my favorite. I don't drink coffee anymore, but now on Thursdays I will because I go right by Hava Java. Get myself a little latte on the way down.
We're getting you the vice here. We're getting you back hooked on that, huh?
No, just once a week on Thursday. For the most part, I lost my taste for coffee when I come back from being sick. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. I've never been a coffee guy ever, like my whole life. I just don't like the smell of it, the taste of it. Iced coffee, warm coffee. I don't care how much crap you put into it. It just despises me from that. I do like the smell of it though, which is weird. I know I'm weird like that, folks.
Yeah, the dude here, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Lou earlier said I've said the stupidest thing I've ever said in front of him, and then I go and say something dumber like that right there, right, Lou? Let's get into this week's Apex fight this week. Again, 5 p.m. because of the time change here. Our time normally at 6, when we're on when we're not on Pacific time. Here as well. Apex fight. There are some fighters on here that I recognize. That's unusual here for the Apex fights here. But as always, I'm going to leave it to you on the prelim fights. I do want to ask you about Xiang Yu against Elijah Smith. And then I also want to know about Chris Curtis here against Aralbai. Chris Curtis we've seen fight a few times along with Brad Tavares in his fight. So, Lou, tell us on the prelims what we should look at that and what we should pay attention to.
Well, you mentioned the first fight's a rematch, Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes. Hughes has won her last 3. This is a rematch from 2022. Pierre Rodriguez won a tight decision. Money's come in towards Hughes. Pierre open minus 200. She's minus, 145 now? Yeah. I'll have to get to the...
I'm pulling it up. I apologize. I'm a little slow here. Or actually, the betting sites are slow.
She's gone way down, Pierre Rodriguez. Okay. Rodriguez is now and of course, it isn't listed here.
Give me 1 second here. I apologize, everybody. I failed you as a host.
She's minus 125 or 130-ish.
Okay, well, go ahead. I'll get the updated number.
Rodriguez here. Minus 162, minus 155, thereabouts 2.5 over minus 550, typical lightweight women's fight. Sam Hughes is tough. She's gritty. This should be a really tight fight. This one is one maybe I might take ends in split or majority decision. Again, looking at that 2.5 rounds over, minus 460, minus 550, going to decision in a rematch that was a tightly contested fight the first time. split or majority decision might be the way to go, and that's where I'm looking there. Then you go next to the Elijah Smith, Su Young Yu fight. Su Young Yu comes a 210 underdog. He's a little lighter than that now. He's plus 180, 160, depending on where you shop. I see a plus 205. Elijah Smith, 7 years the younger man at 23. That's a big advantage. No real feel on that fight.
Really, really quick, Lou, because I don't know what was just happening there. The DraftKings sites failed me, but yeah, the line minus 162 for Pierre Rodriguez right now, plus 136 for Sam Hughes, just to be accurate. And then Elijah Smith right now is minus 218. Yu is plus 180 in that fight for there as well as of right now on DraftKings.
Yeah, again, shop around. Don't just use one.
Yes.
Don't just use one.
We just give you the vocal point of DraftKings here, and unless there's a big enough difference that Lou finds on his site there. But so for on the Rodriguez Hughes fight, you said what on the decision? I apologize.
Split or majority decision. That's a prop you'll find on DraftKings, and you should get a decent plus price on that. Yu and Smith, no real thoughts there. I'd like to see Yu be able to stand up to him, but Smith comes in with pretty good momentum. Next fight, Bia Mesquita against Montserrat Randon. This is all about Bia going to just ramrod through her. This fight here, look at 1.5 over minus 180.
Yeah.
This would be a Bia Mesquita inside the distance.
Minus 220 right now on DraftKings.
Yeah, you could take a look at Bia inside the distance here. No real thoughts on Sosa Lasarda. But this Sousa and Oki fight, there's a little bit to talk about there. Sousa coming in off contender. He opens a minus 200. Now he's minus 310. So they're all over him. This Oki kid from Belgium is tough. He's taller. He's got the UFC experience. His last fight was a loss to Mason Jones. No shame in that. Mason Jones, a beast. This fight is mispriced. And I'm looking at Oki in the fight as a pretty good-sized underdog. You can catch him plus 220 to plus 230, depending on where you shop.
Yep.
I like Oki a little bit as an underdog here. Then you go to the next fight, and it's one that you had mentioned in welterweight, Curtis against Oralbai. Oralbai is a typical bully, and he fought at 155 and could never make the weight. He'd come in at 61, 65 all the time, so they said, listen, you cheating MFer, you're going to have to fight at your own weight class, 170. So now Oralbai moves up to 170, and we talked about guys that fought down. They're bullies, and they don't want to fight guys their own size. Meanwhile, Chris Curtis, Oralbai's opponent, Chris Curtis used to fight at 185. Mm-hmm. He's moved to 170 and realized success. Yeah, I get it. Chris Curtis is 38 and 10 years older than Oralbai, and Oralbai going to try and gas him out by wrestling with him. But I love the idea, Chris Curtis, that used to fight 85ers being down to 70, and Oralbai being a cheater trying to fight 55ers up at 170. That is gone without being mentioned all week by anyone in this industry. You know why? Because they don't look at these fights as close as I do. And that's the bottom line. Chris Curtis is more than live here.
Plus 225 right now. That's why I asked about that fight, is because Oralbai, like you said, he doesn't. If a guy wants to not be in his regular weight class, tells me he doesn't think he's good enough to fight or doesn't have the mentality to fight that level, and he's kind of fighting a guy that's kind of a mean dude at those levels and stuff.
Well,
like
and in
that.
his last fight, Oralbai fought a guy that was an 85er that came down to 170, and he cut so much weight he had nothing left.
Yeah.
And he had nothing left really before he cut the weight, and he knocked him out. So now Oralbai coming in, fat and sassy, and Chris Curtis, no slouch. I like Chris Curtis in this fight.
Perfect. And then next up, you got Brad Tavares and Eric Anders. Eric Anders, I think he, if I remember correctly, I remember his last fight. I believe he lost his last fight there, but for some reason I remember liking him. Tell me if I'm wrong on that.
Well, I don't know if you're wrong or right on that. I can tell you they're both 38. They're both the same size. They're both the same kind of veteran. They both have a well-rounded game. They're both tough and durable. This can be a great fight, very evenly matched fight. I think I lean to Tavares a little bit because he's Hawaiian and he's maybe got the better chin on him. But this will be a good competitive fight. And right now, Tavares is a minus
Minus 122 right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm seeing 122, 130, 125. So right in that range. There should be a good fight.
Over under 2.5 on this, minus 215 to the over. Nobody's got takeout ability, so probably decision no matter what.
I'd be surprised if one finished the other. I would look at decision on the fight because they're both so durable.
Perfect. And then, of course, last fight here in the prelims, Steven Asplund and Victor Petrino here battling it out in this heavyweight bout before the main card starts.
Yeah, I think that's on the main card, but
Oh, is it? Okay.
whether it is or isn't, it doesn't matter. This is a fascinating fight. Petrino is an absolute physical specimen, muscle bound, chiseled out of marble. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is okay. He's a striker primarily, and he's got tremendous power, but when you're so big and muscular, after 5 minutes, you get all swole up and slow down and tire out. Asplund used to walk around on this earth at 500 pounds. He now fights at 255, 260, and the skin on him falls off him. It looks like you took a sheet and threw it over a coat rack, and it's just hanging down. He is a grotesque man to look at in fight gear, meaning without a shirt on. His chest muscles hang down to his lower ribs, and he's a freak to look at, except for one thing. He's mean as a junkyard dog. He believes innately in himself. He believes he's destined and on a path for success in this organization, and the organization believes that as well, and he's got me about half believing. He's a huge underdog in this fight. He's going to have to figure out how to get this fight into the second round. If this fight makes the second round, Asplund going to win the fight.
Yeah,
If this fight doesn't make the second round, Asplund will have been submitted or knocked out.
Yeah, so he is, like you said, an underdog here. Plus 205 for him right now. Over under 1.5 is minus 180. So
To the what?
To the over.
Okay.
So that tells me kind of what you're thinking. People are thinking he can get this to the second round.
No, the line doesn't reflect what people think. The line's trying to reflect what's balanced between both.
Batting numbers.
To me, I'm all about Asplund, so I would feel it's over. But the guy, listen, Asplund is going to be 3 inches the taller man. He's younger by a year, and he's got as much power as Petrino, and he's got way more cardio, way more gas. Doesn't have the experience, and hasn't been in with the same amount of the same caliber of fighter as Petrino has. So there's compelling sides to each side in this fight. But I've already released Asplund.
Perfect. And then, yeah, you're right, Lou. On the UFC fight, ironically enough, they have that as the last prelim fight. But on DraftKings, and I just looked at FanDuel, they have Charles Johnson and Bruno Silva being the last prelim fight, with the that heavyweight fight we just talked about being the first fight of the main card.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter because Bruno Silva and Charles Johnson is where you go make your sandwich, because that's just a dead decision. And don't miss Asplund and Petrino, because that's going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, so there you go. Make your sandwich there for Bruno Silva.
I mean, when you see these two guys, you're going to see Petrino over there, and you're going to see Asplund, and you're going to say that Petrino's going to kill this guy just by judging the book by the cover, but don't judge the book by the cover.
That's interesting. We've seen a few heavyweights that have lost a lot of weight and have that loose skin and stuff like that lately as well. Because that's where I made that comment. What happened to the heavyweights that were just walked in, just jacked, 6'2" and jacked, and it's missing out there in the world.
Heavyweight division's really, really weak right now. Yeah. That's why I think Asplund's got a good chance to make some waves.
Next up, we got Marwan Rahiki and Harry Hadwick here. Featherweight bout.
I got nothing on it next.
All right, perfect. It's all out of order now. Andre Fili, Miguel Delgado here on the main card featherweight fight.
Andre with the best nickname in the UFC, Touchy. Andre Touchy Fili. 35-year-old guy, seen his best, no power, good volume, well-rounded, in way over his skis against a guy in Delgado, got beaten his last fight against Nathaniel Wood. And he won decisively a round and a half in that fight. Then he tired in the second round and a half. And despite the fact that 16 of 18 press people gave the fight to Delgado, Wood won the decision. I had Delgado in that fight. I gave Wood the decision. And so did the cornerman for Delgado, who trains here at the MMA lab. Delgado had missed weight. He had to travel across seas for this. He missed weight, so he had to give 20% of his purse to Nathaniel Wood. After the fight, Nathaniel Wood comes up to him and says, I don't want your 20%, take it back. That's the kind of guy Nathaniel Wood is, okay? We should know that. That's a straight shooter. Give the kid his 20% back. Delgado takes the loss, comes back home, so he's on the bounce. They give him a favorable matchup here. This fight won't go the distance. Delgado will finish Feely inside the distance.
Yeah, my over-under is 2.5, minus 195 to the under right now. Minus 380 favorite for Delgado. You say he's an MMA lab guy?
Yes, he is. He fights here in Phoenix. He trains here in Phoenix.
And now you got Kutabella and Sai battling it out from France. So I probably pronounced that wrong.
Yeah, Umar Sai and Ian Kutalaba. Sai, a little overrated, but he looks the part. He's long, he's tall, he's violent, but in his last fight, he laid an egg. Kutalaba is as uneven as the Rocky Mountains. I mean, he can be a world beater in one fight. In the next fight, he uses no IQ and gets iced. This should be a competitive fight, but I lean to Sai here a little bit. Though I'll be pulling for Kutalaba.
Over under on this is 1.5. Somebody got light heavyweight. Somebody's got finishing power here.
Both do, but I think it goes over because I think it's more competitive than that.
Perfect for those guys there. A co-main event in this one, another women's fight here. Women's strawweight, Amanda Lemos and Gillian Robertson from Canada fighting in this one.
Canada and Brazil. A Brazilian girl, Lemos, nothing but power. She wants to strike. If she gets engaged in the clasp or against the fence or on the floor, she's out of her league. Robinson is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist who has striking. So if this thing's on the feet, Lemos going to shred her. And if this thing goes to the ground, Robertson's going to smear all over the floor. Where this fight transpires, where it takes place, will tell us who's winning. I happen to like Robinson in the fight.
Yeah, so does the numbers. Minus 198 favorite. No matter what, though, women's fight decision here, most likely, are you thinking? Or does somebody have something?
Not so fast, my friend, because Lemos has been submitted, and she does have, power in her hands. This one is probably worth the watch.
Okay.
As opposed to going to make your sandwich. Make your sandwich for Johnson and Silva.
It's unusual, Lou, for you to say that about.
And I say sandwich because it's Lent. And I gave up drinking and bread for Lent.
I forgot it's Lent right now.
The drinking part of it for me after 3 days was a non-issue. It's, I like a couple beers or a couple White Claws when I'm watching fights and stuff, but that's pretty easy. But I'm talking about sandwiches, and in my mind, I can't get bread out of my mind. Really? The bread part of the Lent thing is killing me. I want pizza so bad. The other day we had a sales meeting. The guy brings in some bagel joint on 20th and Thomas, supposed to be good. And I could hear everybody, the bagels were crunching and I could smell them. I was ready to just go roll in them. I wanted one so bad. The bread part's killing me.
You probably don't know who I'm about to reference, but there's a musician out there, a rapper named Fat Joe, that I talked to at being in NASCAR this weekend. And he's lost a ton of weight, Lou. I mean, this guy was unrecognizable. He was super skinny. So I walked up to him and congratulated him on it and everything.
And he says, I quit eating bread.
Yeah, he said he flat out said it. He goes, it's exercise and it's cutting out the
starch,
starch and that stuff,
carbohydrates,
and all that. Yeah. He said that's he goes, that'll kill you. And this is a guy from like Brooklyn, New York, someplace in New York, grew up on pasta and pizza and all that stuff. And he said that's all it was for him. Now, whether you get the shot or not's another story if they'll admit that. But I firmly believe that as well.
Oh, man. I mean, at night I'm thinking about, I want to go get a big cheeseburger. No, I can't. There's bread on it. How about a nice big Jimmy John? Can't eat that. I can't have a bagel. Okay. So I'm eating crackers and hummus. Give me a gun, man. I want bread.
Go
so
to
bad.
I'm sure other places do this, but like In-N-Out, get their hamburger protein style, and it comes in this big old leaf of lettuce.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good, Lou.
on the 10th. Okay,
well, I'm talking about
of never.
Well, to avoid the bread is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm going to wait. And here's the deal for me. Easter is the end of Lent. Oh, no, not for Uncle Louie, it ain't, because if I get the Saturday before Easter, and I will, I'm going to go out and have a couple margaritas, and then I'm going to go to Pat's Pizza Plus on 12th Street and Northern. They do New York pizza like New York does. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable, this little hole-in-the-wall joint. So I'm going to have a couple margaritas, then I'm going to have a couple slices, and then I'm going to just be happy as a pig in a mud hole.
Lou's just going to be
I can't wait. I'm salivating over it right now, and I got 3 weeks yet to go.
I was going to say, you have a long way to go.
I got a long way to go.
But
it's been brutal. It's been really brutal.
Well, let's get your mind off of that and talk about this main event here. Josh Emmett, who I've seen fights a couple of times now. Kevin Vallejos from Argentina. So U.S.-Argentina fight here. Tell us about these two guys.
I mean, this is a fight you can't miss. Each guy going to go stand in the middle of the ring. They're going to widen their stance and plant their feet, and they're going to start throwing hooks from the third row at each other. This is going to be an absolute gory bloodbath. Vallejos, obviously 24 years old, 17 years younger than 41-year-old Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
And so you'd think that he naturally has the advantage, and he does. He's going to be faster, and he's going to be quicker, surely younger. But Emmett has a career facing the elite of the featherweight division. He's fought them all. He's beaten many of them. He's gotten beat by a few. In his last fight, he took on a guy named Yusuf Zalal, who fights out of the MMA lab. He got subbed early. Hey, you get caught once in a while. The good news with Vallejos is Vallejos can't spell wrestling. He ain't gonna wrestle. He don't know nothing about the floor. He's a swinger, and so is Emmett. And so these two are gonna go out there and throw down. And in a throwdown, it's anybody's game. And Vallejos opens minus 500. Now he's minus
550.
Yeah, right. I already released Emmett just on principle alone. Yeah, he's the older fighter, and I don't like it, but Emmett is a bad hombre, and he has wrestling. So if this fight gets close or interesting, he has the ability to take Vallejos down and get on top and do some damage from raining damage from above. So I think most people think, well, Emmett's got a round and a half in him because he's 41. I think he's got more than that in him. And let's not forget, 4 or 5 fights ago, he took Topuria, the champ, to the distance. Very few can say that. Max can't say it. Volkanovski can't say it. Emmett can say it. This Emmett's getting overlooked in this fight.
See, I liked Emmett in this fight just off of the way I've seen him fight in the past. But now when you said 17 age different, even I went, woo.
That's
Maybe not.
Yeah, 41 again. Yeah, hey, if it was 41 against 32, it'd be one thing. But it's 41 against 24.
Yeah.
And 24 has not seen the competition that Emmett has seen. He's only got 3 UFC fights. This might be a baptism. This might be a PhD in MMA awarded by Emmett to Vallejos.
Over under on this 3.5, obviously a 5-round fight. 3.5 over under, minus 130 to the over right now as well. So because you just mentioned that a lot of people think Emmett, because of his age, won't be got to go longer distance. So
yeah, most people are wrong.
Yeah.
Of course, last week I was wrong on all 4 of them, so I got a corner on being wrong, but not in this fight. I see Emmett maybe getting to him late. If this fight goes to decision, could be very close.
Interesting enough, because you just said, I was just about to ask you if it gets to a decision, you kind of see like an even fight. The points on this is 13.5. Minus 180 to the minus 13.5 on the points. So a 5-round fight. You have to help me with the math here.
Here's the math.
Yes.
They're saying that Vallejos is going to finish him because if it goes to decision, the only way for Vallejos to win is if he wins all 5 rounds on all 5 cards. That's 15. He ain't going to do that. Emmett plus the 13.5 is a plus what?
13.5 is a plus 130.
I love that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like it. I love it.
There you go, folks. on this. And it's not very often, Lou, that when I was doing the research for this fight this weekend and everything last night, and I see the big, like minus 550 favorite on the main event. And usually my first reaction, and it was the case here, my first reaction was, why do they do this on the main event card? Like, main events should be wanting you to watch next week's event. Minus 550 is a huge number. I liked Emmett. I like the way he fights and stuff. And so I was disappointed by that and everything. But then, like you said, you look into the other stuff on this, and it's just like, what are people doing? And it's going up on Vallejos as well. You said he opened 500 to 550, so that makes me question what people know that me as a novice fighter doesn't recognize here with Vallejos at all going into this fight. So it's fascinating.
After the fight, I'll talk clearly about it. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Both 5'7" roughly, by the way. So they're just going to stand
mirror
there
images of
and
each other, except one guy's got experience and age, and the other guy's got youth and speed. It should be a great fight.
Well, I think going into this season, didn't you say last year going with the older fighter is what you like to bet, and it hurts you? And then in this case, you said you don't like the age difference. But when it's this big of an age difference with somebody young, like you said, I tend to the numbers might not put it out there, but I tend to say the older guy knows he could take the hits. I'm not sure a young guy can take the hits as well as an older guy that's been through the wars.
Well, I mean, listen, if this fight was Vallejos minus 250 and Emmett plus 190 or 200, I probably wouldn't be playing it.
Okay.
So you're going to give me the opportunity to put a half a unit on Emmett and make over 2 units.
Yeah.
It's principle.
Okay.
I have to.
All right, perfect. Kind of explains that attitude on that. So perfect. Lou, appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having
me.
me,
An
Steve.
Apex fight here. Don't forget, guys, with the time change, 2 p.m. for the prelim cards, 5 p.m. here for
God,
the
I'm happy
main
about
cards
that
as well.
I sure like PST better than MST.
Well, it's
Steve.
funny.
What do you
'cause
think?
It's funny because in the UFC fights, every fight card so far, at about 9:15,
I'm getting tired.
Man, I'm worn out.
Yes, that's right.
Even when I'm not doing anything, I'm just watching it. Like last week, obviously, was different. So now we're going to be looking at 8:15, and I'm not as tired then. So
And that's 11:15 in the East Coast. How do they do that?
Yeah, exactly, right? So I do like being on Pacific time. It just feels more comfortable.
Love it.
You're going to bed not exhausted.
Let's
You're
get
not
rid
fighting
of
to
this
stay
daylight
awake.
savings time BS anyway. Come on, Donald, you're doing great work in the White House. Get me one more thing, and let's get rid of this daylight savings
Yeah,
time.
let's just stay on Pacific time the whole
Please.
time. I'd appreciate it as well. Lou, go have some fun out there. We'll see you next Thursday here as well. Of course, next week, I think we have Apex this week. Let me just look it up real quick here.
Yeah, next week I think we could be. Are we in Perth? Are we in Australia?
I think it is. That's why I wanted to just double check it
And
here.
because of that,
no, actually London the following week.
we're London. What time does stuff start? Are
1 p.m. our time, main card.
1 p.m.
here
okay.
as well, yeah.
Good. The earlier the better for me.
Yeah, and then it's Seattle after that, and then Apex, and
Okay.
then stuff. So,
I mean, we're on a run right now. We got 5, 6, 7 straight in a
So
row.
we've got fights during the day next Saturday. We'll talk about that with you as
Love
well.
it.
And hockey playoffs will be, blink and they'll be here.
I
by
mean,
the time
we're
next Thursday
16,
comes.
18 games out, so
Yeah.
it's getting close, getting ready.
Yeah. So come on back, folks. Next Thursday, 9 o'clock with Lou. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. McCollum on Business already posted for the day. On demand now. We did that live at 7 a.m. Come and join us at 7 tomorrow. Main event tomorrow, 8 to 10 as well. Catch us on demand. Like our YouTube page for us as well if you would. We'll see you later, everybody. Have a great Thursday.